Welcome to Presidency Senior Secondary School online class. So continuing our Unit 2 chapter, that is solution. So our next topic is azeotrophs. 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 First of all, this azeotrophs term is applicable only for non-ideal solution. So this term is only for non-ideal solution. It is either non-ideal solution showing positive deviation from Raoult's law or non-ideal solution showing negative deviation from Raoult's law. So azeotrophs term is applicable only for non-ideal solution. That is liquid-liquid solution may be positive deviation, may be negative deviation. Now next we consider what is azeotrophs. The solution, that is liquid-liquid mixtures which boil at constant temperature and can distill unchanged in composition are called azeotrophs or azeotropic mixture. Now what is azeotrophs? It can be explained by taking a simple example. Say if we take two liquids in a container. So here are two liquids present, A and B. And say boiling point of A is say 56 degrees centigrade and that of B is say 81 degrees centigrade. Okay. And here we dip a thermometer here and applying heat. So what is normal process? So in normal process, when heat is applied in a mixture, so first of all it reaches temperature 56 degrees centigrade, then A starts boiling. When entire A is removed from the container, then again temperature rises, and when it reaches at 81 degrees centigrade, then liquid B starts boiling. So this is normal case. If we take randomly two liquids which are miscible, and if we apply heat to the mixture, then liquid where boiling point is less first boils and temperature in the thermometer is fixed. If entire A is removed from the container, then again temperature rises, and when reaches boiling point of second liquid, then again starts boiling of second liquid, and this is called normal process. Now when A and B form azeotrophs, then liquid mixture neither boils at 56 degrees centigrade nor at 81 degrees centigrade, but it boils another temperature which may be lower than 56 degrees centigrade or may be higher than 81 degrees centigrade. So this depends on whether mixture is positive deviation or negative deviation. If two liquids form azeotrophs, then boiling point of the mixture, which is known as azeotropic boiling point, is lower than lower one. That is, if A and B form azeotropic solution, and if it is example of positive deviation, then boiling point or azeotropic boiling point is neither 56 nor 81, but less than 56 degrees centigrade, means lower than lower one. On the other hand, if then it is called minimum boiling azeotrophs, because boiling point is lower than lower one, so it is called minimum boiling azeotrophs. And if A and B form azeotropic solution, and if it is an example of negative deviation, then boiling point or azeotropic boiling point is higher than higher one, that is more than 81 degrees centigrade. So such azeotrophs is called maximum boiling azeotrophs because it has maximum boiling point. Now what is azeotrophs? Solution or liquid mixture which boils at constant temperature, neither this nor this, and unchanged in composition are called azeotrophs or azeotropic mixture. So always azeotropic mixture boils at constant temperature. So constant temperature at which it is boiled is called azeotropic boiling point. It may be lower than lower one or higher than higher one, depending on whether it is example of positive deviation or negative deviation. If it is positive deviation, then boiling point is azeotropic boiling point is neither this nor this, but lower than lower one, less than 56. And if it is example of negative deviation, then boiling point of the mixture is higher than higher one, that is more than 81, so it is called maximum boiling azeotrophs. So what is azeotrophs? Azeotrophs means solution or liquid mixture which boils at constant temperature with constant composition or unchanged composition, then it is called azeotrophs or azeotropic mixture. Depending upon whether it is example of positive deviation or negative deviation, there are two types of azeotrophs. One is called minimum boiling azeotrophs and other is called maximum boiling azeotrophs. If it is example of positive deviation, then it is called minimum boiling azeotrophs, and if it is example of negative deviation, then it is called maximum boiling azeotrophs. So example of which is 95.4% ethanol with 4.4% water. So this is one example of minimum boiling azeotrophs. So ethanol and water is actually example of positive deviation, but here only positive deviation is not sufficient to form azeotrophs. Their composition must be a certain value or specific value. Only at such specific value only azeotropic mixture is formed. For example, only 95.6% of ethanol when mixed with 4.4% of water, then they will form azeotroph, which is example of positive deviation of minimum boiling azeotrophs. If we take say 90% ethanol and 10% water, although it is example of positive deviation, but it cannot form azeotrophs. So always azeotrophs form at a specific composition, not all composition. So minimum deviation or maximum, that is positive deviation or negative deviation from Raoult's law is not a sufficient condition for formation of azeotrophs. It is although necessary condition to form azeotrophs, but more important is here that their composition must be a specific one. Only ethanol and water is not sufficient. Only when ethanol percentage is 95.6 with 4.4% water, then only they form azeotrophs. Next we consider maximum boiling azeotrophs. So second type of azeotrophs is a maximum boiling azeotrophs. The solution which show negative deviation from Raoult's law are called maximum boiling azeotrophs. Example, HCl 20.2% with water 79.8%. So this percentage is different from this one. So all azeotrophs has some specific composition. Only such composition it form azeotrophs. So here first of all note down what is azeotrophs, then types of azeotrophs and their examples. Okay. So this is all about azeotrophs, types of azeotrophs, minimum boiling azeotrophs, maximum boiling azeotrophs. So main point is azeotroph boils at constant temperature, and on the basis of whether it is positive or negative deviation. Positive deviation is called minimum boiling and negative deviation is called maximum boiling. Here boiling point is lower than lower one and here boiling point is higher than higher one. So next we consider very important topics which is called colligative properties of dilute solution. colligative properties of dilute solution. What is colligative property? Colligative property means property depends only on number, not on nature. So if any property of solution which depends only on number, not on nature, then such property is called colligative property. Like democracy, here also only number is important, not nature is important. So colligative property is also known as democratic property of solution. It depends only on number. It is independent of nature, whether it is glucose or urea or sucrose, it does not depend. It depends only on number. Now what is dilute solution? Dilute solution means if any solution, solute is very small and solvent is very large, then such solution is known as dilute solution. If small amount of solute dissolved in large amount of solvent, then such solution is called dilute solution. Now, colligative property of dilute solution is applicable only for solid in liquid. Solid in liquid. So, in previous case, that is in ideal and non-ideal, all are liquid solution. Here solid in liquid. Which type of solid? Solid must be non-volatile and non-electrolyte. So if any solid is non-volatile as well as non-electrolyte, then in such cases colligative property is applicable. So example of non-volatile and non-electrolyte solute is sucrose, glucose, urea, etc. So all these compounds are non-volatile as well as non-electrolyte. If we consider say sodium chloride, potassium chloride, potassium nitrate, acetic acid, so all are electrolyte. So in such cases colligative property is not applicable. So colligative property is applicable only for those solution, that is those solid in liquid solution where solute is non-volatile as well as non-electrolyte. So example of such solid is sucrose, glucose, urea. All of them are non-volatile as well as non-electrolyte. So colligative property is applicable. All of them are electrolyte. So here colligative property is not applicable. So this is all about colligative property. Colligative property means property which depends only on number of moles of solute and not on the nature of the solute. What is dilute solution? If any solution where solute is very small compared to solvent, then such solution is called dilute solution. And this is example of solid in liquid. Solid must be non-electrolyte and non-volatile. Now next we write definition of colligative property. I have already told colligative property means property which depends only on number of moles of solute and not nature of moles of solute. So properties of solutions which depends only on the number of solute particles but not on the nature of the solute particles are called colligative properties. Now there are four types of colligative properties. How many colligative properties? There are four important types of colligative properties. Number one is called relative lowering in vapor pressure. Number two is called elevation in boiling point. Number three is called depression in freezing point. And last one is called osmotic pressure. So these are four important colligative properties. So four important colligative properties are relative lowering in vapor pressure, osmotic pressure, elevation in boiling point, and depression in freezing point. So first of all, we will start first colligative property in details, that is relative lowering in vapor pressure. First colligative property is relative lowering in vapor pressure. So, according to Raoult's law, actually there are two Raoult's law, one for liquid and another for solid in liquid. Here, since colligative properties are applicable only for solid in liquid, so here we consider only Raoult's law for solid in liquid. So what is Raoult's law for solid in liquid? Vapor pressure of solution is proportional to mole fraction of the solvent. Vapor pressure of solution proportional to mole fraction of the solvent, or P equal to XA equal to some constant PA naught. So here P represent vapor pressure of solution, PA naught vapor pressure of pure solvent, and XA represent mole fraction of solvent. Now we know that XA plus XB equal to 1. So XA equal to 1 minus XB. So here XA can be replaced by 1 minus XB. So this is very important relation which is obtained from this one, Raoult's law. So what is this relation? Actually always PA naught is greater than P. It is vapor pressure of pure solvent is always higher than vapor pressure of solution. Already we have discussed. Now their difference PA naught minus P is called lowering in vapor pressure, and PA naught minus P divided by PA naught is called relative lowering in vapor pressure. So what is lowering in vapor pressure? Lowering in vapor pressure is the difference of vapor pressure of pure solvent and vapor pressure of solution. What is relative lowering in vapor pressure? It is ratio between lowering in vapor pressure and vapor pressure of pure solvent. So what is relative lowering in vapor pressure? It is ratio between lowering in vapor pressure and vapor pressure of pure solvent. So from this relation, Raoult's law can also be redefined. What is new form of Raoult's law? Relative lowering in vapor pressure of a solution is equal to mole fraction of solute. So this is another form or alternative form of Raoult's law. Thus, relative lowering in vapor pressure of a solution containing non-volatile solute is equal to mole fraction of solute. So this is another form of Raoult's law. Thus, relative lowering in vapor pressure of a solution containing non-volatile solute is equal to mole fraction of solute. So this is another form of Raoult's law. Relative lowering in vapor pressure of a non-volatile solute is equal to mole fraction of solute. So this is another form of Raoult's law. So next, consider determination of molar mass of non-volatile and non-electrolyte solute from relative lowering of vapor pressure. Determination of molar mass of solute. Which type of solute? Non-volatile and non-electrolyte. Using relative lowering in vapor pressure. Determination of molar mass of unknown solute which is non-volatile and non-electrolyte using relative lowering in vapor pressure. Actually, all four colligative properties are used to find out molar mass of non-volatile and non-electrolyte solute. So first we use relative lowering in vapor pressure. So now here we consider a solvent mass of A equal to WA and molar mass of A equal to Ma. Next we consider a solute B, which is solid. Mass of B equal to Wb, molar mass of B equal to Mb. So number of moles of A, if Na, always number of mole equal to mass by molar mass, then number of moles of B, if Nb, then Nb equal to Wb by Mb, mass by molar mass. Now mole fraction of B equal to number of moles of B divided by total number of moles. Now since solution is very dilute, for very dilute solution, number of moles of solvent is very large compared to number of moles of solute. So since this one is very large compared to this, so this one can be neglected. So Xb can be written as Nb by Na. Now according to Raoult's law, Pa naught y minus P divided by Pa naught equal to Xb. What is Xb? Nb by Na. What is Nb? Wb by Mb. What is Na? Wa by Ma. So Pa naught minus P divided by Pa naught equal to Wb Ma divided by Wa Mb. So this is our required relation. So this relation is used to find out Mb, that is molar mass of non-volatile and non-electrolyte solid. So in this relation, Pa naught represent vapor pressure of pure solvent, P represent vapor pressure of solution, Pa naught minus P represent lowering in vapor pressure, and entire left side represent relative lowering in vapor pressure. What is Wa? Mass of solute. What is Wb? Mass of solute, mass of solvent, molar mass of solute and molar mass of solvent. And if all these factors are known or quantities are known, then we can easily find out Mb, that is molar mass of solute. So write all this. So next we consider numericals from relative lowering in vapor pressure. Vapor pressure of water at 20 degrees centigrade is 17.5 mm of mercury, and lowering of vapor pressure of a sugar solution is 0.061 mm of mercury. Calculate number 1, relative lowering in vapor pressure. Number 2, vapor pressure of the solution. And number 3, mood fraction of sugar and water. So write question first. Vapor pressure of water at 20 degrees centigrade is 17.5 mm mercury, and lowering of vapor pressure of sugar solution is 0.061 mm of mercury. Calculate relative lowering in vapor pressure, second vapor pressure of solution, and finally mood fraction of sugar and water. So here vapor pressure of water means pure solvent is given, which is equal to 17.5 mm, and lowering in vapor pressure means PA0 minus P is called lowering in vapor pressure, which is also given 0.061 mm. So first we take number 1, relative lowering in vapor pressure. So relative lowering in vapor pressure equal to PA0 minus P divided by PA0. So PA0 minus P equal to given 0.061. So this one. What is PA0? 17.5. So if we divide this, then we get value of 0.00348. So this is value of relative lowering in vapor pressure. Next, vapor pressure of solution. Again, PA0 minus P equal to 0.061. We know that value of PA0 is 17.5 minus P equal to 0.061. So what is P? P equal to 17.5 minus 0.061 equal to 17.439 mm of mercury. So this is vapor pressure of solution. And finally, mole fraction of sugar and water. So number 3, Pa0 minus P by Pa0 equal to Xv according to Raoult's law. What is Xv? Mole fraction of solute. So this value is already known, which is equal to 0.00348. So this is mole fraction of sugar. And finally, mole fraction of water. Mole fraction of water equal to 1 minus mole fraction of sugar equal to 1 minus 0.00348 equal to 0.99652. So this is mole fraction of sugar, this is mole fraction of water.